For breakfast today, got oatmeal, got some dried fruit on there, and some nuts, and coffee. It is day 6 here on Dorothy Lake. We're heading over to Lahay Lake, heading down the Nasmith River. Or it might be a creek, not sure. Yesterday was pretty awesome. We saw that moose. The bugs were kind of bad. They weren't as bad this morning, but they're starting to come out. It's another hot, hazy day. We had a otter hissing at us this morning, just off camp. So we just portaged into Nasmith Creek. I think we're coming up on our first section that we all have to wade. I hope the mosquitoes followed us from the portage, but not too sure. And then we have about 10 or 11 kilometers of this creek to go through. It's really quite pretty, so I think we're in for a great day. Entered a bit of a marshland, but so far the traveling's been pretty good. We had to do one lift over and we were able to ram our way through a log jam. This is going to be our first beaver dam we got to pull over. Doesn't look too bad. So we're coming up on our first portage. Looks like a little bit of a boulder field. I think we'll see if we can just line it. Avoid the portage. Not even sure where it is. So I think we can line the top of it. We'll come in through there, down through here, and then I'm not sure about the bottom half yet. And here's the bottom of the falls, if that's what they're called. Saved portaging the shoreline. Little bumps and bruises on the boat, nothing it can't handle. This is our first log jam. We might be able to push our way through it though. So ran into, this would be the second one here, of a bit of a log jam where we're just able to get out and kind of lift it over these log jams. There goes my paddle. So I think we've come to our first portage where we'll have to go around the log jam. We can't just push our way through it. Just go across the shore and back in. We've been dismantling this rather large log jam because the shore's not super nice. And I think we can get our canoe down in there eventually and then kind of reload it on the other side. We've made it to our second little portage. We're gonna stop here for lunch. And then I think we're able to line it. It's gonna sound pretty rough, but I think we're able to do it. For lunch, we have summer sausage wraps, got Laughing Cow and some Doritos on there as well. And for dessert wrap, some peanut butter and trail mix down by this fall. This is the lower falls. I don't think we'll be lining it. Just like that. We've finished the waterfall section, and now it's kind of the home stretch to Lahay Lake. This is Lahay Lake. We'll be camping on this lake. We finished the Nasmith River. Took us about 6 hours or so to get down the river. A few log jams to deal with, a few waterfalls, a bit of lining, a bit of wading, but we got through it. Looks like a really nice lake. This is camp for night 6 here on Lahay Lake. Here's the water access for the boat. So we got that pulled up. We got the bug shelter up again. Bugs have been pretty bad when we got to camp. They still are. I don't know if it's because we can't have a fire, but there's another water access. Maybe if we had a fire we could get rid of them. And because we got this up, we kind of got to go around everything. Bit of a maze. And just getting the tent back here ready to go. And then there's a wrecked cabin in the back. I'll show you that in a bit. This is the old abandoned cabin, trapper's cabin or something like that. Alta ruins, kind of decomposing back in on itself. See a fireplace, bunk beds, bit of this and that. I think that tarp back there might be the outhouse. So we're just out for an evening cruise, trying some fishing. Get away from the bugs. This is the outflow of Lahay Lake. Tonight for supper is our sidekick dish. It's got hamburger, mushrooms, peppers, onions, all kinds of deliciousness. And we're just in the bug shelter again. Get a bit of relief from them. It's hot, it's humid, and there's zero wind out right now. Oh, thank goodness for this bug shelter. Here's the finished product of sidekicks. And we're gonna have a beautiful sunset. It is day 7 here on Lahay Lake. We're heading over to Obabika Lake today. Heading up over to river for a bit to get into the lake. The portage is right on our camp here, so we're just setting out by portaging this morning. We just boiled some water for coffee and oatmeal to try and get a quick start. And should be a pretty good day going upriver. Not too many portages, 3 or 4. And that should take us back into the big water. This is the unnamed lake from Lahay to Obabika River. It is a very hot and muggy day. There's a little bit of a breeze on the water, but that portage was something. It wasn't very long, but it was certainly hot. So we finished the portage into an unnamed lake, and it goes through this grassy bog. Gets even worse, and we have to make our way through there. Made it to the water. We are very much on a floating bog. I just have to watch where we step. Sometimes we sink up to our knees in this stuff. Portage is way back there. So the portage out of this lake isn't much better. The sign's just up there, and pushed our way through this stuff. And I'm gonna try to get closer to shore and just make our way to it. It's a bit overgrown. But I can see the trailblaze on the trees yet. It's not too bad. It's clearing up. I think this is like a 250 or something. Not too bad. This is Obabika River. And we're going to be heading to the left, upstream. And the lake we just portaged from, I think this is its drainage coming into it. It's a nice, clear river. Looks like a nice paddle. We're about halfway up the river now. It's a very strong current, so it's a constant battle uphill. And there's a few of these log jams, but for the most part they're cut apart, and we're able to canoe. We only had to lift around one of them so far. This is our portage into kind of the start of Obabika Lake. We still have a bit more of the river to do, but we're getting there. We're definitely getting there now. We are back on Obabika Lake. It's nice to be back on a big lake. Try some fishing. We're going to be camping on this lake tonight. Here's grandmother and grandfather rock. It's about 5:30 now. We've been on the water since 10 a.m. So it's getting kind of late in the day. But this is just past the Narrows, and I think we're gonna try grabbing one of these island sites. This is camp for night 7. We got the canoe pulled out here. The water access is down here. Rocks are a little bit slippery. And all the camps back here. It's a really small island that we're on, but it's got a great 360-degree view. There's a nice breeze coming through, so we haven't put the bug shelter up yet. We got the tent all ready to go. It's been an incredibly hot day. We been on the road since 10 and it's almost 7 now, so if the wind dies down and the bugs get worse, we'll set up the bug shelter here. And on the south side, there's a pretty nice exposure as well. A really nice camp here. We just paddled over to this beautiful sand beach for a swim. Our camp's just over there on that island. It's a beautiful beach. Got a little bit of a sunrise in the, or a sunset in the back. Should be a nice night. For supper tonight, we're having a chili mac again. This is the jalapeno Cheetos flavor. And we got Dad's cookie and some barbecue bold Doritos. Today for breakfast is apple cinnamon pancakes, and we got a little bit of blueberries as an extra bonus. Coffee. And this beautiful view. It is day 8 here on Obabika Lake. We're heading over to Devil's Bay on Lake Temagami. It's another hot and beautiful day. We have a couple portages to get there, maybe 3, and they're not too bad. There's a little bit of a breeze out on the water right now. It's going to be a great day. This is Crooked Lake. We have one more portage into Obabika Inlet. This is Obabika Inlet. For lunch today are sardine wraps, and we're just using up some extra food that we have on the trip. We have some peppers and onions, and just enjoying this on Obabika Inlet. This is Devil's Bay. This is night for Camp 8 here in Devil's Bay. Here's the water access. Got the canoe just propped up on these kind of like armor stones. Pretty cool things. We got to camp, everything's set up, went for a swim, and it looks like some weather's blowing in. So, got the tarp here. The bugs haven't been bad, so we haven't put that up. This camp's got a pretty sweet countertop situation into the fire pit. And we got the tent back here. And I believe there is another water access. There's a few around the campsite, but get a better view of this storm coming in. Oh yeah, that looks like a good one. Say bye to the blue skies for a bit. This storm's coming in fast now. Camp's being blown apart. The storm is done and so is supper. We have a chickpea coconut curry dish, and I think there's zucchini in there as well. Bit of red wine, and you have this beautiful view. It's a very gloomy morning today here in Devil's Bay. It started raining around 4 a.m. It's starting to let off now. It was just a gentle rain all morning. So we just slept in till 8. We're going to cook some breakfast, pancakes and coffee this morning, and then head out. We're trying to cook pancakes and the storm's come in pretty strong again. For breakfast today, we're having the last of our pancakes, and we were kind of working with the rain on that one to make them. We had to stop a couple times, hold down the fort, but it seems like it's going to be a beautiful day. Not quite, it's still raining, and there's some dark clouds everywhere. It is day 8 here on Devil's Bay. Our plan was to pack up and head over to Ferguson Bay, but it is just a rainy sort of day. It started at 4. It rained pretty hard when we were cooking breakfast. It was just a river going through camp. Everything was flooding out. The wind was back. It was blowing hard on everything. So instead of packing up everything wet, we're just going to stay here for the day and just add basically another hour to our canoe in the morning. So we're just going to kind of wait out the rain, maybe do a day trip, go for a little paddle if it lets up. Otherwise, this kind of looks like our day. It's around 1 p.m. now, and decided to have some lunch. Brought a little table in under the tarp. It hasn't stopped raining yet. We're just kind of looking at all the food we got left over and might decide to eat it all. And still just waiting out the rain. Comes and goes, but it hasn't actually stopped yet, so hopefully by the end of today it clears up and we can get out for a nice ride. Tonight for supper is ramp pesto pasta with parmesan, and we're just enjoying this under the tarp. It's been raining all day, it's been windy, so we haven't done too much, just enjoyed our last day here. For our last breakfast today, we're having coffee and oatmeal, something quick. And we got some dried berries and nuts to go within that. And it hasn't rained most of the night, so I think it's clearing up, but it's still very overcast today. Some very dark clouds out there. We're heading straight up that way into Ferguson Bay. It is day 10 here on Devil's Bay. We're heading over to Ferguson Bay today, where our car is, so this is our last day. We just cooked up some coffee and oatmeal for breakfast. Get an early start. It's about 8 o'clock now. We have about a 3-hour paddle. Yesterday was pretty uneventful. Spent most of the day underneath the tarp. It was raining pretty much all day, so we maybe got 5 minutes every hour without rain, but you could just see the next storm cloud coming in. So it's a really nice paddling day. It's overcast, but we haven't had any rain yet. We are back on Ferguson Bay, thus concluding our 10-day trip. It was an awesome trip. The weather was great, except for when the rain started yesterday. The bugs weren't too bad, just a few days when it was really hot out. We got some creek traveling in, caught some fish, saw a moose, saw some otters as well. It was an all-around fantastic trip. Thanks for watching.